Hey, what's up YouTube? This is FZM Studio. So, following up from the speed test, in today's video we'll be concentrating on doing a battery drain test between both of these flagship devices. So, I'm hopping straight into the settings, specifically the display settings. Right, so the first thing to point out on both the devices is that I've got the brightness set to just around about 50%. Now, the sub menu I went into for the S8 Plus was the screen mode. Now as you can see, there are a few different number of options such as the adaptive display, the AMOLED cinema, and the other two. Now I found the adaptive display to be the best looking option for the S8 Plus. Now my personal preference in terms of the color temperature is cold, so I selected that on both the phones. So for the test I made sure that the S8 Plus was running in its best possible resolution, which is Quad HD Plus, which is 2960 by 1440. Now both the eye comfort mode and the blue light filter were switched off for the phones. Now the next option for the S8 Plus is the video enhancer, so I ensured that I turned that off to make things quite as fair as possible. And in summary, the video enhancer essentially improves the saturation and brightness and the overall color quality. The final thing to mention on both the display settings is that I set the screen time out to 5 minutes, and on the S8 Plus I turned the always on display off. And with the Mate 9 Pro there is no alternative resolution settings, so the native resolution is a Quad HD, which is 1440 by 2560. So as you can see, both phones are at 100% charge. Now on the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus you can see it's got an estimated time of 50 hours remaining. Looking at the Mate 9 Pro, it's got 61 hours and 25 minutes remaining. So it looks like the Mate 9 Pro is going to win this test. Or is it? We'll find out. So I also made sure on both the devices that there was no power saving mode on. I made sure I removed any power intensive apps which may have slowed the phones down in the background. And this also helped optimize the performance overall. So as you can see with the S8 Plus, it's got Instagram running on in the background, so we made sure we turned that off. And similarly with the Mate 9 Pro, there was Instagram and Facebook and a few others which we turned off. As well as on the Mate 9 Pro, I made sure I turned the low resolution power saving off. Notice that when I removed the power intensive apps on the Mate 9 Pro, we've got a boost of battery performance from 61 hours to 66 hours and 49 minutes now, so the Samsung's definitely got a battle on its hands now, no doubt. Now, once I made sure everything on the battery side was right, I moved into optimizing both the phones. So as you can see on the Samsung, it's at 99 out of 100, whereas on the Mate 9 Pro, we're at 75 out of 100. So before I begin the battery drain test, I want to make sure that we get both phones as optimal as possible. So as you can see, we're at 100 for the Samsung and 90 for the Mate 9 Pro. I also briefly went into the cleanup menu, and as you can see on the Mate 9 Pro, we're at 126 megabytes, so I cleared that up. In terms of unnecessary storage data for the Samsung, it was absolutely fine. In terms of RAM management for the S8 Plus, you could tell there was some cleaning needed to be done. So as you can see, we cleared up a total of 138 megabytes for the S8 Plus. Now, the final thing to mention on the S8 Plus is the performance mode. So as I hop into the menu, you can see there are a few different options. By default, it was selected on optimized, which seemed to be the most fairest option for this particular test. As there is no specific performance mode for the Mate 9 Pro, it seemed only fair that I set the Samsung to the optimized setting. Right, so the first test I conducted was a 40-minute long YouTube video in 4K. So as you know from the previous video, the display resolution on both these phones are Quad HD 2K. So that was the maximum video resolution I could get on YouTube. Now, as I mentioned in my first ever speed test video, I really want to conduct these tests in a much more longer time frame to really get the best out of these batteries. So certainly for future battery drain videos, I want to make sure the batteries go all the way from 100% down to 0 so we can really see who the true winner is. So for this test and the remaining segments that you're about to see, I'm going to speed up the video. So sit back, relax and enjoy. So the first test is complete. Now looking at the battery percentages, the Mate 9 Pro is at 93% and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus is at 92%. So the next test in the sequence is a 30-minute long Instagram test. Let's go. Now, concluding from the Instagram test, you can see we're at 89% for the Mate 9 Pro and 88% for the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. You've heard the saying, there's a fine line between winning and losing, and you can see it right here. Now, the third test I'll be conducting is a 15-minute long video recording in 4K. So as you can see when I'm toggling around in the video recording settings, both the phones shoot in UHD 4K. So we'll see how UHD video recording really impacts the battery test. Let's go. So I figured as we're on the topic of power, let's watch some Dragon Ball Z. Enjoy. You've got to give this video a thumbs up just for Teen Gohan. So as we can see now on the Mate 9 Pro, we're at 81% and 82% for the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, so there's definitely been an increase in power. The Samsung has definitely took inspiration from Dragon Ball Z. This is getting close. So the final test I conducted was a 25-minute gaming test. So the gaming test was done with Asphalt 8. So with its high-end graphics and optimization, it makes it an ideal app for the battery drain test. So a quick little adjustment to put the phones into landscape mode and we're ready. Let's go. So the final gaming test is complete. Now let's look at the phones. So we can see a clear winner with the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus being at 73% and the Mate 9 Pro being at 71%. So this is a shock result because at the beginning of this video, you could clearly see that the Mate 9 Pro was well ahead with 66 plus hours remaining. So there's no doubt in my mind that this has actually come at a big surprise. Now I'm fully aware there's only a 2% difference between both of these phones, but every little percentage matters, so clearly the winner is the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Now we all know that the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus does have the smaller battery, with it being a 3500 mAh battery and the Mate 9 Pro being a 4000 mAh battery. So let's summarize. The Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus was behind at the YouTube comparison stage, and it also was behind at the Instagram stage. So it clearly can be noted that the last two apps have made a significant change to the battery performance for the S8 Plus. This clearly makes me want to do a rematch between both of these phones. So the final numbers stand at 71% remaining for the Mate 9 Pro and 73% remaining for the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. With the Mate 9 Pro, it's got 23 hours and 30 minutes remaining, and with the Samsung, we've got a winner. 36 hours and 30 minutes remaining. Now, this genuinely makes me want to do a rematch between both of these phones from 100% all the way down to a full battery drain at 0%. Now, if you guys want to see that, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment saying S8 Plus versus Mate 9 Pro rematch. So in conclusion guys, definitely a surprising result because I had my money on the Mate 9 Pro. But hey, that's exactly why I'm here, to make sure I do these tests to get exactly what we want to know from these phones. Right guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely leave a comment on what you guys thought between the battery drain test between these phones. Hit that thumbs up button and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.